Greetings. This is James Gilliland with As You Wish Talk Radio. I've got quite a show tonight. We've got some awesome guests here that's staying here at the ranch, which we're going to get to a little later. We just had Dr. Saleh here, who was at the missile range there, the nuclear facility where it got shut down, and he came up to the ranch and had a wonderful experience and got to see the ships. And we'll have him on the show real soon. But we're that's in the works right now. There's a lot of things going on I kind of wanted to talk about, and it's finally really hitting the news, and people need to pay attention to what's going on. But we've got your basic MSG, your aspartame, and all the psychotropics, the fluoride and chlorine in the water when you brush your teeth makes chloroform. The estrogen mimickers that are in the water. Making men pretty much impotent. The Monsanto Franken foods that are out there that the rats won't eat, and if they do, they die, along with the cows that also eat these Franken foods. And every 30 minutes, a farmer seems to commit suicide over there in India who got involved with their program. So it's getting pretty crazy out there. And then we've got the chemtrails laced with, aluminum oxide, which pretty much dumbs you down, and barium, and interferes with your brain. All these interfere with your brain capacity. You've got ethylene dibromide, which that's what they tint your house with when they fumigate your house, and so all of these things are being sprayed. And then you add the benzene, in the gas, and then the air, after the Gulf spill. We have to really ask ourselves, what in the heck is going on this planet? And it's getting pretty psycho out there. So anyway, on all these levels, when we look at what's happening, it's almost like there's just this mass population control or genocide going on, and it's happening on so many levels. It's the dumbing down and erasing of America, and we need to start paying attention to this. Because it is happening. It's just run amok, and we need to stop taking those pills, stop eating that crap, those Franken foods, and turning off our TVs and start figuring things out. Because if you're in the program, you're probably not going to be here too much longer, basically, because that old program is pretty much going out. That's the good news. There's a lot of activity right now. Say some prayers to the people in New Zealand. We've got a lot of friends out there in Australia and New Zealand, and New Zealand got hit with a pretty big quake and a lot of damage there. They keep changing the numbers. It was 7.3 at first, and now it's back down to a 7.0. So I don't know why they keep moving the numbers around, but a lot of times the first numbers are correct, and then they try to gear it down to make us not be aware of the massive changes going on, the earth changes. Our sun is just going ballistic, and it's going to continue to do so. So, if you hear me go off the air and your computer starts blinking on and off and you're having trouble getting on the net, that's just a little precursor, to the days to come. So, anyway, that's basically in the news. I would start doing a little internet search on what's happening with all the psychotropics and the fluoride and the chlorine in the water and the chloroform and the estrogen mimickers and the Franken foods, and start paying attention to what's going into your body, because it's having an extremely adverse effect. Especially these chemtrails. They've been chemtrailing really heavy here, and the couple of days later, everybody's trying to figure out where their car keys are and their car, basically. So, it's not a fun ticket, and somebody, needs to be held accountable for all this nonsense. I mean, it is just crazy what's going on, and I just don't think there's any integrity or courage left in any of our agencies, and it's up to the people to wake up and figure it out and just pull away from all this nonsense. Just stop participating in it in any way whatsoever. I love some of the masters. What they said is there's three rules. I know we had a talk with Micah Nelson, actually Willie Nelson's son, and he said that we have three rules in our family, and that is, don't be an asshole, don't be an asshole, and don't be an asshole. So I think Mother Teresa said, there's three rules, be kind, and be kind. And so we need to get back to basics. We need to stop with this me, selfish program, and start looking at how what we do affects others, and stop with all this other nonsense. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about. One, I got this thing in the mail. It was so hilarious, and it was some minister, fundamentalist, sent me this thing, and he was saying, I will tell you who the Antichrist is. And, if any theologian has done their research, they'll find out that the Antichrist is not one Antichrist. There were many Antichrists. It's always been more than one. So basically it's anything Antichrist consciousness. And then he will tell you, I will tell you the plans of Satan, and I will reveal, all. It was so unbelievable. I mean, I just hearing all these things on here, the plan, and basically, there is some truth to these things, but, basically, I've always felt, isn't it time, to stop blaming God and the devil for everything or giving credit to either one of them, and start just being personally responsible for the choices that you've made and the actions that you've taken. If we do that and then practice those 3 rules, don't be an a-hole, and don't and practice kindness. Those rules basically, we could turn this planet around. We don't need a religion to do it. We don't need science to do it. We don't need a politician to do it or any institution. Basically, all we need to do is open our minds, open our hearts, and start practicing from pure intent, and start being kind to each other and the planet. It's that simple. That's all we have to do. All this other stuff is just brain fodder, and the TVs are filling our minds with so much nonsense, so much garbage. It's just garbage in, garbage out. And if scientists are correct that we are creating our own realities out here, and our minds are full of garbage, then take a good look at what's happening in your outer world. It's a reflection of the garbage on the inner world. So it's really time to dump the fear and the guilt and the unworthiness and all those programs of separation, and and just start dumping that, getting rid of it. Getting rid of all the old wounds and traumas, both individually and collectively, and get on with who you really are. I mean, that's just a coat that you've worn in this lifetime and other lifetimes. It's just one of many jackets. And we have to realize we aren't the coat. You're not your personality. You're not your body. You're so much more than that. And when you start tapping into that multidimensional self, your own divinity, all this other stuff is going to fall away, which is what they don't want. So, speaking of that, there is a lot of separation and againstness and confusion, as always, in the UFO community. And I'm getting tons of emails, asking me to address this again. It's just gone ballistic, and we have one of our members, and we need to send some prayers out to Richard Boylan, because he's got some very serious issues going on. I know he's gone public in all of these forums and in events, and it's very sad, but I guess he's named all these people that we're all cabal and we're all have this dark side, and actually we were listed. We made his list. Actually, we made his good, bad, and ugly list in the I think in the ugly section, or bad. I'm not sure, but under there, saying that I profess to have contact and I profess to be in communication with the ships, and I profess that there is UFO activity here, and but actually it's a big cabal program, So anyway, I want to see his photos of the ships, coming in and interacting with people, and I want to listen to the people that have been in his groups that are just totally blissed out and feeling this wonderful energy and having spontaneous healings. I would love to see this happening in his groups as they are happening here, but I don't think he has that program going. So anyway, unfortunately, the cabal has not come to me. They haven't given me a big fat check. I haven't gotten on their payroll, and I've been having to pay for everything myself here. So sorry, Mr. Boylan, I think you need to get your little pendulum out and figure out your energy signature program and find out where the influences are coming in that are allowing you to judge and condemn all these people out there that are putting their lives on the line trying to bring this information out. So I think if I was part of the cabal, I wouldn't be having my brake lines cut and my lug nuts taken off and bullets whizzing by my head. So enough said on that. That's not happening anymore. They've kind of backed off on that stuff. But, the bottom line, it is a little irritating when somebody's out there, making crazy assumptions and statements when they've never read the books, they've never listened to any of my radio shows, and they just go on with this nonsense. And I think it's just a scream for attention. Maybe there's some jealousy there because they're not getting the limelight. I don't know. But anyway, it's not my coat, and I'm not going to wear it. So whatever nasty projections and demons you're experiencing just might be within self, Mr. Boylan. And you might want to go and take care of that stuff, before you start trying to help others. There's an old saying, get your own act together before you start trying to get other people's acts together. And I think that would be a good idea. But that's just a few of the things going on. There is a massive program going on with chemtrails and HARP. Watch your skies. You'll see the massive X patterns, and the blue skies turn into a toxic gray. And then you'll see all these weird energy patterns up there in the clouds, that are reacting to some other program, some other frequency. And that's usually HARP, combined. And they're broadcasting these energies, and we've found out, from whistleblowers that they are using Gwen towers, cell phone towers, satellites, all kinds of things and HARP to project this energy. I think it's I can't remember what it is, but the frequencies that they're projecting out are chaos and confusion and anger and a lot of every emotion has a frequency, and they know how to transmit these energies. And when you suck up all these heavy metals in your system, guess what? You become an antenna, and so they can actually transmit them even better, through these heavy metals and other things that are in the atmosphere. So we need to pay attention to this. There's a lot of people channeling messages out there saying everything is cool. I got another message the other day saying that a certain group has taken over all of the cabal, and now they're the good guys. And all the Illuminati, everybody are now all under control of the highest, confederation or whatever. And not so. It's not looking like that in the outer world. So we need to pay attention to what's manifesting in our outer world, and just not participate in it. That is the main thing. It's like if they give a war and nobody goes, they don't have a war. So it's time to wake up. If they want to destroy a forest and nobody shows up, they can't destroy that forest, can they? So if they want to, put a giant hole in the ocean and tap into 100,000 psi, knowing they can't handle that kind of pressure, and kill the Gulf Sea, then maybe we should all just say, I just can't do this anymore. I can't participate in this nonsense. So anyway, I'm getting all those emails too from people saying, we can't clean up the damage unless we can drill 4 or 5 more wells so we can cover the cost of destroying the Gulf, and trust